The other day, I was hanging out in my Discord when somebody brought up DDR. For those who don't know, DDR is a rhythm game where like you step on like the keys on the floor to hit the keys on the screen. You can play all kinds of songs on it, which reminded me of the whole concept of rhythm games. And me being a person who likes listening to music and playing rhythm games, I thought, why don't I make a video about it? So here I am. In today's video, I'll be rating every single Friday Night Funkin' song by Boyfriend only. This includes the main game songs from the main level. This doesn't include all the remixes or the weekend remix. I'll probably do that in another video. And if this video hits a like goal or a subscribe goal or whatever, I'll put at the end of the video. Then maybe I'll do a Pico one too. So that'd be cool. Anyway, before I actually start the video, I would like to do a quick little prologue talking about what Friday Night Funkin' is and how it came about. Friday Night Funkin' is a rhythm game composed by a 4-person team consisting of programmer Ninja Muffin 99, artists plural Phantom Arcade and Evil Skater, and key composer being Kawaii Sprite. The game was originally created for an October Game Jam back in 2020, and with the game's successful launch on Newgrounds, it also had a successful Kickstarter, which is currently boosting the game into its further development as we see more updates. It's including its recent mobile port, its addition of the song Spaghetti by La Seraphim, and its announcement of Week 8. The game is about titular character Boyfriend, rap battling all these other characters, some familiar faces, some not, so we can continue to date other titular character Girlfriend. There is a strong community for the game. There are lots of mods for the game. Obviously, you've probably seen some of them. If this video is in your feed, then you've definitely seen some of them. The game also has official merch you can buy, so that's also a good sign that it is a popular game, I think. So yeah, before I really get in my ranking though, I do want to put these not really rules but guidelines out. I won't be ranking 3 songs, that being the tutorial song, because I don't really feel like that's a song to rank. It feels more just like a tutorial telling you what to do. And I won't really be ranking any of those songs with the Lemon Demon, because if you must know, I kind of absolutely despise those songs. And so, just so I don't have to rate them to get out the way, I'd probably rate them like both 0, maybe a 0.5 out of 5 stars. But that's because they just feel super out of place when you play the level in the games based off how all the other characters are. With that quick little prologue done, now we can finally get into the real meat and potatoes. Starting with Week 1. Week 1 consists of 3 tracks, the first being Bo Bebo. The overall vibe of Bo Bebo is it's a really solid track. It's definitely a slow song, being the first real song to play in the game. It's very simple. They have the characters basically say the words of the title of the song, and so for that I think it's a very memorable track and probably not one that is easily forgotten. It's the first track you do with Daddy Dearest, and I think it's a great introduction to how the rest of the game will play out, because it's a song, the characters do their little beeps and bops and whatnot, and it basically lays out how everything else goes from that point. It's a great first level for a first song, and for that I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Not 5 out of 5 stars, because it's good, but it's not really the best track in the game. I know it's kind of unfair to rank it to be the best though, because it's not really supposed to be the greatest one in the game. So I give it a solid 3 out of 5 stars. It's good, it accomplishes what it's trying to accomplish, it's memorable. Is it the best? No, but that's okay. Track 2 in Week 1 with Daddy Dearest is Fresh. Fresh I like much more because the vibes of it are really nice. I really like the beatboxing segment at the start, which makes it definitely a really fun track to play. Definitely one that I consider to be is probably my favorite in Week 1. And actually received a remix in the first Friday Night Funkin' OST volume done by Kawaii Sprite. Fresh is a song I would enjoy re-listening to. I think it does a pretty good job being a solid bridge point between the easy level and the harder level at the end. And so for that, Fresh is a really solid, I think, middle point or checkpoint or whatever. And I'll give it like a solid 4 out of 5 stars. It's good. It's great. Is it the best thing we've seen? No. Is it like the best in this week? Yeah, so definitely like a 4 out of 5 stars, I think is definitely worth it. The last track in week 1 is Dad Battle. Dad Battle really feels like a boss fight when you play it. The overall beat of the song and vibes of the song is more fast-paced, more amped, but that's because like the title of the song is literally called Dad Battle, so what can you really expect? It definitely feels like a final level. It's really fun to play and notice all of the details in the background, like how the people in front of there's like, I don't know if I'm getting confused with a mod or something, but sometimes when you see it, there's like a whole crowd of people at the front of the stage. It's like, oh wow, this actually seems like more people this is really intense. So it is really cool. It's a memorable track. And for the first week of the game, it's a nice finisher to show you how the songs play out from easy to slightly more difficult to difficult. So I think that's really nice. Overall, week 1's a solid week. It's really good. I'd give Dad Battle another 4 out of 5 stars because I think it's just saying basically things that I said for Fresh. It's a simple track. It accomplishes what it's trying to accomplish. Though it's not the best track in the game, it is really good, and so I will give it credit for that, but I still don't like it better than Fresh, but they're basically kind of on par. So yeah, I think 4 out of 5 stars works just fine for this one as well. Now it's time for week 2. Week 2 consists of typically 3 tracks, but I'm only really going to do 2 of them. First one being Spookies. This week contains the Spooky Kids Getting Pumped from the Spooky Month series done by Sir Pello. And the first song, Spookies, I think captures the overall vibe of the characters really well. I keep in mind I said the vibe of the characters because the next track's gonna be a little different. I think the way that this track is set up, it feels really spooky. It feels like something that the Spooky Twins would have as like an opening theme or like an intro, because it feels like a kind of Transylvania song. It has nice little thunderclaps in the background. It feels like a classic spooky tune. Plus, I do think it's a really funny track because at one point, if you listen really closely and to the song, the back vocals done by Kawaii Sprite, you'll hear the words "trick or treat, smell my feet," which I think is actually hilarious. So definitely one of my really good track. I will admit, when I first listened to this track, it wasn't necessarily my favorite, but that's because I think it's overshadowed by the next track. Overall, I give Spookies like a 3 out of 5. It's good. It's on the same level as Bopey Bo, but it's kind of just good. It's not great. Speaking of better than great, in my opinion, would be the second track of week 2, South. South does not really feel like a Spooky Month song. It has the beat for the song is crazy. It's really good. I really like it. I can't really put it into words, which is so hard because I wrote a script for it, but now my script is gone, so I'm kind of winging it if you couldn't tell. But I actually like this version of the video better because I already re-recorded it and all this stuff, but I'll explain that later. South is actually the song that made me really like this game, so I'm also kind of biased to it, but it has a really nice, more fast-paced beat, which makes sense because we only get 2 actual songs in game with the Spooky Kids. And this one feels like more of their boss level, so I think it works. South is probably one of my favorite tracks in the game, so I am gonna kind of give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's really good. It has these really nice points where it feels like the vocals are going in like a really cool circle, but they're not. It does a nice build up for the song, and it works really well. So if I said earlier, if I had to rate the song, I'd give it a 5 out of 5 stars. And it's definitely one of my favorite tracks in the game, and it still holds up in my opinion.
3, 2,
Okay, now to get into the third week, week 3. Week 3 has another familiar face from Newgrounds, with the main antagonist for week 3 being Pico. Pico's levels consist of 3 songs, being Pico, Philly Nice, and Blam. I think that the first song, Pico, is actually my favorite. Though it's one of the slower songs, I think it works much more so in the favor of the song, because I feel like it helps with the breakdowns and the build-ups to other segments. I think all the breakdowns that each character gets, they feel like really trading blows. They're going side to side, and they're being passed on from each other, right? Which is really nice. And then I feel like the breakdowns between both characters that lead into a nice build-up and payoff are also really satisfying. I think that Pico is a really memorable track, and it's in fact the track I remembered more than the other two, and I went to go re-listen to the tracks I needed to re-listen to for this video. I think all the snare drums in the background also really help with this song. Pico's just a really good song, man. Pico gets a 5 out of 5 stars. It's really good. I really enjoyed Pico. And yeah, that's about it. For our next track in week 3, we have Philly Nice. Philly Nice is also a really nice track. It has a lot of really nice breakdowns. And Pico's voice feels a little more high pitched, and I feel like it goes up and then down in like pitch. So that's really interesting. So it definitely feels like that's a Pico thing though. We even see that in the Pico levels. So it's really cool. I really like that about the Pico character. I think that though this song is good, I'm sorry, but it's just not really better than I feel like the first track is. I feel like everything in this song pays off well, I just don't think it's to the level of the other one. As for like its placement, I feel like it works well as a middle track. I feel like the overall tones of the song are different between the first and the third one, and yeah, it's a good bridge point between those two. So yeah, if I had to rate it though, I'd give it like a solid 3 stars, 3 out of 5. That seems fair. It's not, it's a good track. Actually, no, that's not good. It's a 4. Yeah, I think Philly Nice is a 4. I think it really works well for the level. So yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars instead of a 3. So that's nice. We'll give the next song, Blammed, probably around the same treatment. Blammed is the last track in week 3. Obviously, it's more amped up, more fast-paced because it is the final track. So it's more of a boss track, but it still works really well. It feels more serious. I feel like each character gets a serious breakdown at one point that works really well as to build the level of intensity in the song. I think it helps add to it. It makes it feel more, I'm gonna hit you. But I think it's really cool. Blammed is a good track. Dare I say Blammed is better than Philly Nice? I dare do. So actually, you know what? Let's pretend I'm a competent YouTuber, and we're gonna go back. I'm gonna put Philly Nice at 3 out of 5 stars, like I probably should have, and we're gonna put Blammed at 4 out of 5 stars. So just imagine, Blammed is at 4 out of 5, Philly Nice is 3 out of 5, and Pico is 5 out of 5 stars. Boom. Now to get on with our next week after that, week 4. I did that with my hand and I accidentally put up a 3. Week 4 consists of girlfriend's other parent, Mommy Mirist. So that's really fun. I believe her lore is that she was like a former pop star, so that's really interesting. But I think it's like both the parents. But anyway, the first track in week 4 is Satin Panties, which sounds really, really weird to say out loud, but whatever. I think it's a really nice track. It has that nice, I want to say like 90s song vibes. Like it feels like Poison when you listen to it, with how a lot of the sound design is set up, especially like with the drums, the pace of the song, and it works really nice. I feel like the songs from this point forward in week 4 feel like more of a musical evolution, because it feels like they build up from how a certain genre of music evolved through the years, and I think that's really cool. I think this song is really, really good with that. I think this week is overall really cool. And the background's designed for this week where they're like fighting on a limousine is also super dope. So for that, I think I'm gonna give Satin Panties like a 4 out of 5. I really like this track. It is not surprisingly my favorite in this week, which I'm trying to make sure I do put my favorite in out of all the weeks, and then at the end of the video do my top 5. But anyway, yeah. Going to the next song in week 4. The next song in week 4 is High. High is my favorite track in week 4 because I feel like the song feels like it's getting higher and higher, both pitch wise and like overall tone wise. I think it's really nice. It's obviously a part of like that music chain thing that I said previously about the first song. I feel like this song is definitely a great middle point. I feel like the first song was like early 90s, and then like the latest song, or like the last one, is like past, I want to say like past 20, so let's just say 2020 forward. And so I think the High is a nice middle point, and it definitely works really well. It's a really catchy tune. I think it's a really sweet tune, and I give it a solid 5 out of 5. My favorite track of the week, and I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's really memorable and really cool. Next up is MILF, the last song in week 4. You might see this song, and it might send those sleeper agent messages to your brain, because anyone who played this song on like hard mode back when the game came out was like, oh my freaking god, what the frick is this one part with the breakdown? And I will admit that part of the song is very difficult for newcomers, but the more you play it, the easier it gets. I think this song is also a really solid track. I'm gonna put it on the same level as Satin Panties was at the start because they're both really good songs. I feel like if I were to put any of them lower than each other really outside of High, then I'd seem really unfair because they're all really, really good songs. This one's more amped up, more fast-paced, more aggressive, as I said, but it does have this really nice chill point that I thought that's really funny because it actually starts before like one of the most difficult parts of the song began, which feels nice. It has a lot more, I think, bass in the song or whatever. I don't know if that's what it is, but yeah, it works really well. The song feels more aggressive. It's a great third song for a week, and actually what I consider to be like one of the best actually boss tracks for the game, because that's what I'm gonna label the last song really as. It's in fact memorable because of not only the mental pain it caused many people who played it, but because of that one whole breakdown in general just being a really fun segment to hear. So for that, I give it a 4 to 5 stars as well. It's time for this next week, aka week 5. Week 5 is like more of the Christmas Eve week, and because I'm only really going over 2 songs, it's kind of going to be a really fast week too. The songs, I believe, are Cocoa and Eggnog. It's a Christmas themed week, and basically they're in a mall, and I think they're holding Santa at gunpoint. That's in the remix version of the level background. But anyway, it's really, really cool. I also, before I really get into it, I want to point out that seeing the freaking characters in the background is so cool. I know I said I wouldn't talk about the freaking remixes, but when I saw Go-Go and her sister from Punch Punch Forever and Hatsune Miku in the background of this level, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. So yeah. Anyway, these are both Christmas tracks. To go over Cocoa, because that's first. To go over Cocoa, it's a really good Christmas track. It feels slow like a Christmas track should feel. However, I have one problem with this song. I have a confession. This week, I don't have a favorite song in this one because I feel like both of them are really similar in like being Christmas Eve songs. I understand that they're both different to hear, but they just don't really feel like one's outright better than the other one is. And for that, I kind of have to give them both 4 out of 5 stars. This one's 4 out of 5 stars because it has great breakdowns, it has great build-ups, and I feel like the solos between Daddy Dearest and Mommy Dearest are both really nice for the song Coco. So yeah, it gets a 4 to 5 stars. The next song, Eggnog, also really good songs. Really Christmassy vibes. I feel like they use that Jingle Bells element somewhere. I literally get them confused sometimes because they're so similar. One of them has a really good Jingle Bells element anyway, which I think is really nice, really fun part of the sound design. And so, that one's really nice. Same thing with the Mommy Dearest, Daddy Dearest. They all have like a part that they trade off. Boyfriend's lines are still really good. That's kind of about it. I said they're both got really 3 out of 5, so we'll just change it. Once again, pretend I'm more competent here. And we'll put both Eggnog and Coco at a 3 out of 5 stars. I'm not saying they're bad, they're just good. I feel like they're really seasonal, which is fine. But yeah. Starting with our next week, my favorite week in the game, Hating Simulator. Frick, the freaking enemy of this one is the freaking Hating Sim Senpai guy. He's really cool. He's probably my favorite character. That's an original character in the game. It consists of 3 tracks. The first one being Senpai, the second track is Roses, and the third track is Thorns. So there's like a flower thing going on in the later 2 tracks. I think this week has a nice chiptune element, and you can see that off the bat with Senpai. Senpai is a song with, it starts slow and it definitely feels like a more romance tune from a classic dating sim. So I think that's really nice. It's a really chill vibe. I feel like all versions of this song keep that element, and that's what makes it really good. Senpai is probably gonna get a 4 to 5 stars from me. I think that the nice little glam that you get at the end of the song feels very anime-y, like how the character is designed in this one. And I really like it. So kudos to this one. The next song is Roses. I didn't say a lot about the first one because I like it. But Roses, I also like it. Which doesn't make sense, but I'm about to explain it in a way that makes some sense. Roses feels a little more bitter. The first one felt like, oh hey, you're so cool, nice to meet you, let's shake hands. The second one felt like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you in your sleep with a pillow and a soap and a soap bar and a pillow sack, and you're just gonna wake up with bruises all over your freaking body. Roses is a track that just feels bitter, like things have soured. And I think that really contributes to the story of this level. Because unlike, I feel like most of the other levels, this level actually has dialogue. Or text that appears, not spoken dialogue. So that's really cool. I think Roses feels more like a nice middle point because it feels really bitter, really sour. But doesn't sound not good. It doesn't sound it sounds uneasy, but not like it's displaced and doesn't know where it's supposed to fit. So for that, it gets 4 to 5 stars. My favorite track in week 3. Not week 3, frick. My favorite track is track 3 in week, what am I on, 6? Yeah, in week 6 is Thorns. Thorns feels a little more spooky because everything is red now and he's like a weird flesh thing, which I think is really cool. It feels a lot more intense, and it feels like things are really at stake here. I feel like the chiptune element feels really nice. It has a lot of nice build up and ascension, and there's every part that's like a breakdown from both of the characters feels really well traded off from one another, and it passes really nicely. It's really clean for a song that feels very jagged. And it has the little chiptune feels like a more trickling down effect because it's in the background, which works nice too. It's just chef's kiss. I love it. So for that, I give week 6's song Thorns a 5 to 5 stars, and I love it. It's also one of my favorite tracks in the game as well. Now it's time for the final week of the game. It's week 7. What the heck? I don't know what I'm thinking. It's week 7. And the main antagonist for week 7 is the Tankman. This week consists of 3 tracks, being Ugh, or whatever, not the boots, Guns, and the last week Stress. Really, really cool week. To start off, is also a really, really well done track. I feel like the song in itself is really unique because of the sound placement of the It's said by the Tankman guy, and for those who don't know, if you're not someone who knows about Newgrounds, the Tankman is kind of like the Newgrounds mascot. Anyway, it feels so nice. You feel in the way he said it's like, what the frick? You're so gross and weird. I love it. The Tankman track feels very chill at sometimes, but then it's like, oh wait a minute, I'm supposed to not like you. And they go back at it. I feel like that plays off. The breakdowns from Tankman are nice because I feel like he does a breakdown and then it transitions into a build-up. And it goes from like a mid to a high and then a mid again, which is really cool. I think that it's a really memorable track, obviously, because it actually has like words in it like "ugh" said by the character. No other track actually has that, and so it's definitely really original to me. I'm gonna give this track 4 out of 5 stars. This video is actually really positive. I gotta do a negative video at some point. Anyway, a 4 to 5 stars because I really like it. Track 2, Guns, and just as good, except Guns is actually my favorite. In week 7, the last week, because I feel like Guns is more fast-paced and higher pitch. I feel like how the other one went like medium, then high, then back to medium. This one just feel like it goes medium and then goes high and then stays there and then it goes higher and it just keeps going after like a pause. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. Guns is a really nice track. I really enjoy it. It feels like it doesn't have like anything in particular that sets it out being in the background like a part of the song outside of the song itself, and it really relies on like the pacing of it. I feel like it does a lot. It does a lot better at getting higher and higher and higher than the track High does from week 4. So we're gonna give Guns a 5 out of 5 stars because it's really cool and I really like it. The last track is Stressed, which is a really interesting track because it's the most aggressive track in this week, obviously because it's the last one. It's a boss track, and it's probably one of my favorite boss tracks in the game. Week 4, week 6, and week 7 all have the best boss tracks in the game in my opinion. This one actually has more of like a gun sound in the background than the other songs do, even though they're like kind of in like a military base, because Pico showed up to save the day and he's like blasting him with his freaking, I forgot what gun he has because I don't know a lot about guns, but he had whatever he's using. He's just blasting the Tankman to protect his homies, in GF2. Anyway, he's just and they use that and it feels more amped up and high paced. I feel like there's this one point of the song where Tankman does speak again and he's like, hey, pretty good. So that's really rad. This song is also really original in my opinion. It really stands out. The beat is more similar to how Stressed goes, where it's mid then high, but now it goes from heavy to mid back to heavy, so that's really nice. This week is probably this track is really good. I feel like it's definitely more serious. The Tankmen, I feel like definitely do their job being like kind of having that Tankman attitude. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a lot how they would act, because like the one thing I recall really seeing them in was in the Sir Pello Spooky Month thing where he was like, I really love drinking your pee, dude. And it's like, yo, what? So they have that voice and it's really good. I forgot the voice actor's name, but I'm sure I'll edit it in here. But he does a really good job doing the voices of the Tankmen, so that's really nice. This final track is gonna get This is gonna be the first one, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get the first 4.5 because it's better than but it's not quite on the level of Guns yet. So we're gonna give it a 4.5, and that's my last ranking of week 7, aka my last ranking of the last song in the game. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it brings us to our video's conclusion. With all the songs, the bass songs being ranked, I'm gonna put my top 5 tracks as in no particular order, because like I don't think I'd really be able to do that too good. Put them in a particular order. We have South. This isn't from each week, by the way. These are just the top 5 that I really like. We have South. Some of these aren't gonna be 5s out of 5, by the way, but I am gonna put it up here anyway. We have Senpai. We have Stress. And actually, you know, it's not really a top 5. It's more like a top 3. I don't know why I said top 5. Yeah, those are definitely those are my top 3. Really good tracks, really good songs. If you haven't played Friday Night Funkin, go check it out right now. Please let me know if you liked this video. If you did, you know, like and subscribe or all the whatever stupid YouTuber stuff. If I haven't uploaded in like a year, because I kind of haven't. I've been really busy with a lot of other stuff, but I'm glad to finally get this video out. But yeah, stay tuned. I don't want to say, I promise, but I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, that I will come out with that Pico video or whatever, and then I'll do the final video that does all the characters remixes or whatever for character remixed songs. So be on the lookout for that when it comes out. Will it be the next video? Probably not. I've got some stuff to plan, so be on the lookout. And that'll be all. Thanks for watching, and have a good one or whatever. Stay funky.